Bud's Knotty Problem is definitely a good episode of Arthur and very worthwhile. This is an episode or a segment in the 4th episode of the 20th season, and in this one, Bud really wants this pair of boots that he's seen. But there's one problem. They have laces, and he can't tie his laces. And his mother quite wonderfully says, if you're able to tie your laces, if you practice and learn to do it, I'll buy you those boots. And I thought that was a really wonderful incentive for Bud. But it's going to take a lot of work. And I have to say, DW was a little bit nasty at one point. She was kind of saying, how can you not tie your shoelaces? You're 4 years old. And I feel like somebody at that point should have stepped in and said something like, we all have, we all reach our milestones at different rates and things. That was kind of glossed over. But DW and Emily do try to help Bud learn to tie his shoelaces. Will he be able to do it? Will he get the boots? Of course, I'm not going to answer that question, but I think it's definitely a really important episode because the younger end of the target audience for Arthur are going to be at the age where they're learning to tie their shoes. And as I said, some children learn to tie their shoes earlier than others, and it can help encourage them to learn how to do it. There are some decent tips in this. The mime video, very peculiar. But it can certainly help any children who haven't yet mastered that skill to give it another go. It could also give parents a good idea to incentivize their children if they are in a position where they can buy them new shoes with laces. That could be a pretty good incentive. Of course, a lot of children's shoes are designed without laces because you've got a better chance of being able to encourage children to want them if they haven't got laces because, your market is broader if you don't need that skill. But there are, of course, a lot of very interesting, fascinating children's shoes. You get shoes with toys in them nowadays, or you used to, with laces that can help to encourage them or incentivize them to tie their laces. And this is a really, a great thing we see with this episode. So DW's attitude wasn't great, but the fact that she was willing to help Bud, I thought was definitely the right attitude to have. Definitely an important episode. Helps some children to realize that they're not alone. Not everybody can tie their shoelaces. I have no idea how old I was when I learned to tie my shoes, but there would have been one point when I couldn't do it, and this definitely could have helped me to feel like there was a reason to try. Because let's face it, buckles and Velcro are so much easier, and now as an adult, I never ever tie my shoelaces. They're tied, I just never untie them, which I know is not the best way to treat your shoes, but never mind. Bud's Knotty Problem is a pretty important episode that will definitely be beneficial for the younger end of the target audience.